Hey everybody, it's Willow here from Willow Moon Mystical. Willow Moon Mystical is my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and my little store at Howard's Flea Market in Homosassa, Florida. Today I'm going to be talking to you about different things that you can use in spell work as well as add it to a spell bottle or a mojo bag. So some of the things that today I am going to be creating a little bottle for my new store that I can set up in there. One for prosperity and one for protection. I did make a little mojo bag that I hung over the door, but I thought I would like something a little bit more visual that I can set up on the altar inside of the store. First off, have you ever seen this? It's packing paper, and when you get an order off of Amazon or you place an order with another company, many times it will come with a lot of packing paper. Don't throw this away. This can be used as petition paper in your practice. I often take it and I will fold it up and I will save it, but then I will cut it down like this so I can have petition paper on hand for spell work. So this is something that, in brown paper bags too, when you get your brown paper bags from the grocery store, easily cut them apart and save them. It may have writing on the outside, but on the inside it doesn't, and this works great for making paper poppets and also for making paper seed pods, which we'll do a video on at another time. You can also make paper mojo bags, and those are things that are only used for a little while. And then, they serve their purpose, and then you can bury them or pitch them or burn them or what have you. So, I love to use this for petition work, and today I am going to be adding a petition to my bottle, even though a small one. So, I wanted to share this little witchy tip with you. Another one is this. Of course, we know to our bottles we can add things like crystals, chips, or bigger. If we wish, we can add powders. We know all that. And of course, we can add herbs of many kinds to our spell bottles and our mojo bags and our gree-grees and things like that, and even to our poppets. But there's so much more that we can add that we may not have thought of. Like, for instance, you've heard of lodestone right here. And lodestone is great to attract and pull things into you. And you have to feed them on a regular basis, at least once a week. These are great. I love using lodestone. But here's something else I found too. When you wear the hematite ring to take all the negativity, the magnetic hematite ring to take all the negativity away from you, and then it breaks when it serves its purpose, what do? Do you throw the pieces away afterwards? And I covered this on a video before. No, I save these little pieces and I will use them in a spell jar. So I'm going to keep these two out because I'm going to be using them in the spell jar I'm creating today for the shop. And then another thing that you can use in your spell bottles and stuff for protection is little tacks or little nails. And these are reclaimed nails from a floor that a paneled floor or a paneled wall at one time, and I got them off of Etsy, and I just absolutely love them. I love to use them in spell work. These are great for nailing things down, securing things, and also great for protection as well. So I'll probably be adding one of these as well to my jar today. And another thing is seashells. Now, I love cowrie shells for so many different reasons. For one reason, they're great for protection because this little thing was a home to some creature at one time, so it was their protection. And also, cowrie shells was used for a form of money at one time, so therefore it is great for prosperity. But since it does come from the ocean, it represents water. And what does water do? Water takes the road of least resistance. So, when you're working with prosperity, you want it to take the road of least resistance and flow into where you need it to go. So that's the reason why I love using cowrie shells. And I'll be adding one of those to the bottle today as well. Another thing is shredded money. This is actual shredded money, and I got it off of Amazon. And I love to use it in spell work. I've used it for myself, and I've used it for others. So I will be using a little bit of shredded money today, and I'll be using that with the hematite to attract and draw. Then another thing that you can use is, these are skulls. You can use beads and other trinkets and things. And I love to use skulls. And the one I'm going to be using today is I am going to be using a green one. And the reason why I'm using a green one is for good money sense. You know, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to think of good money sense, you know, wise business decisions. So I'm adding a green skull to represent that. And you can go use these on color magic, or you can just use them, you know, to add a skull into. It could represent your ancestors and so many other different things. So if you get a chance to fix something like this up, it is actually worth the little investment for your own spell work. And these are shark teeth. And these are great to use in spell works, to add to jars, to add to your bottles, to your bags. They are just great because they are for protection. You know, sharks are predators. So with adding a little shark tooth, what this lets us do is it lets us go, you know, it lets us go after our goals, setting our goals and going after them. And another thing is ground bone. These were bone beads, and I took them and I took a mortar and pestle, and it took me quite a while, but I just kept hitting them until I ground them down into bones. And I love to add ground bones to spell work because I use it to represent not only the animal. These are from whitewater buffalo. That's what the beads were. And I just grounded them down into a coarse powder. But I love to, I think it's called bone meal. And I think you can also get it off of Amazon. But I love to use this to represent the element of spirit. And also, because this is whitewater buffalo, I know exactly for sure that's what this is. It's also great for strength and, you know, brute force. So of course I'll be adding a pinch of this to my spell work as well. Another thing you can add is like beads and seeds and things, and these are called wishing beads, mojo wishing beads. You know, and you intensify them with what your desire, your intention, your wishes are, and you add it, and you can just do it like this and carry it upon you or lay it upon your altar. I'm going to be adding one to my bottle, and I'm going to intensify it for the desire I have set for the shop. Oh, okay, so there you go. I went over a vast things that you can use in your spell bottles and your spell bags and different things, and how to upcycle and recycle. Now another thing is, don't be afraid to use charms. I love charms, and especially keys. And I will be adding a key to my bottle today. I may tie it on the outside. I have some string on this paper. I may just borrow a little bit of it and use this. But the reason being is because a universal key, a key represents to open doors for which I knock and to lock the doors for which I did not. So of course I will be adding a key. I just love the key of wisdom. So I'll probably just be tying that around today, and I broke off a little piece of string for that. So let's get to making my bottle. So here's my little bottle. Some crystals I want to add is I'm going to add amethyst for mental and psychological protection, you know, for myself and for visitors within the store. And I am going to be adding black tourmaline to pick up negative energy and turn it into positive. I think I want it, since this is a bigger jar, I'm going to add a couple more pieces of amethyst. And then I want to add some citrine. This is known as the merchant's crystal. So I want to add a little bit of citrine for prosperity. And of course, pyrite, which is known as fool's gold. This is absolutely wonderful for prosperity spells. And then some other crystals I'm going to add is green aventurine. Green aventurine is not only for prosperity, but it's also for new opportunities, and it allows you to choose the opportunity that is best for you. So I think I'll add a couple of those. And then I also want to add a little bit of my own money powder. And this is made with like cinnamon and clove and just a bunch of different herbs, as you can tell. And it's got a little bit of glitter in it. And I created this for abundance and prosperity. So I'm going to add that as well. I have a bottle of this in the shop, and I sprinkle it in the cash drawer, and I sprinkle it on the walkway to help bring people into the shop. And so far this has worked pretty well. Now other things I want to add to it is I'm going to intensify this wishing mojo wishing bean. And the way that I do that is I lay it on my hand, and I put my hand over it. These little divots here, I lay my hand over it. I empower this wishing bean with my intention to bring prosperity and protection into my shop. May all good things enter, may all negative things leave. This is my will, so mote it be. Now I'm going to add it. I'm adding the skull for good business sense, for wise choices for my business. So mote it be. I'm adding the seashell for prosperity, so money will take the road of least resistance and flow freely like water. I'm adding this hematite, this magnetic hematite, to draw prosperity unto my shop and to help it grow and to help it to do well. I'm adding the shark teeth for protection, but also to help me turn into a predator to go after the goals that I set for myself and for my shop. I'm adding this shredded money to draw into the shop good financial flow and support. So mote it be. So there I have my little trinket and my crystals and things. But now I want to add my herbs to this as well. And one of the ones I am going to add is I'm going to add dried rose petals. And these came off of a bouquet of roses that my husband got me for our anniversary, and I dried them. So they were given in love and they were dried from love, and so I'm adding them to the jar for love, but also for protection. I want anyone who comes into my shop to feel welcome and wanted and like they belong and that they are loved. Now, I am going to add, of course, prosperity herb mix to help bring prosperity into the shop. I enchant this herb mix of prosperity to help bring prosperity into my shop and to help it grow. So mote it be. So now I want to add that. And next, I'm going to add a little bit of wishing spell mix. And you can get these on Etsy or on the internet. That's where I got them. And I'm going to, my wish is that my shop will grow, that all who comes into my shop feels welcome and wanted and loved, and they are able to find the magic that they are seeking, and the supplies as well. So mote it be. So now I'm going to add all of this. Had a lot of wishing going on there. And mess making, of course, but that's the fun of spell work. And then the next one is empowerment. I'm going to add a pinch of empowerment, and the empowerment is just not for myself, but the empowerment, I enchant this empowerment spell mix for anyone who comes into my shop to feel empowered in their own skin and in their own craft, to empower the people that work in my shop to help others and to help themselves, and to empower myself as well, and to empower the shop. This is my will, so mote it be. So now I want to try to push all this down in there as well. Okay, there we go. Now, people likes to um, seal their, well, first I wanted to add a petition. So I am going to take a piece of petition paper, and I don't need a big one, and I'm going to write up on this what my goal is for the shop, my desire for Willow Moon Mystical is for growth, prosperity, and empowerment. To assist each customer with their magical needs and wants, and to help them feel at home here. So mote it be. So there we go. I've written it out, and if you notice at the bottom, I used a little sigil that represents myself. So now I want to bring this in, so I'm going to fold it once towards me. I'm going to turn it to the right. I'm going to fold it towards me again. I'm going to turn it to the right. I'm going to fold it towards me again, and I'm going to keep turning to the right and folding this towards me until it's as small as I like it. And then I'm going to stick it down into the middle. Now from here, I can seal this right now, and I thought of doing that, but I don't know if at other times I want to add other elements into what I want to bring into the shop. So I'm going to leave this spell bottle just as it is right now, and I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to hold it between both of my hands, and I'm going to enchant it. I enchant this spell bottle to fulfill each desire from each element that I've added inside of it. For my store to be prosperous, for each customer to be able to find the things they need and want, and to feel welcome into our shop. For our shop to be protected, and for it to grow, and for good business, since this is my will, so mote it be. And now I am going to take my little key. I enchant this key of wisdom to open the doors for which I knock, and to lock the doors for which I did not. This is my will, so mote it be. And I had that little piece of string that I tore off here. And I'm going to just put the key on it. As such, I'm going to wrap it around my bottle. And I think I'm going to tie that key on. Give it 3 knots. 1 for the maiden, 1 for the mother, and 1 for this crown. And now I think I'm just going to tie the key onto my bottle. Perfect. One more will do it. And I'll have to get scissors later and snip off the asset. But there is my little spell bottle that I created for Willow Moon Mystical. I'm going to set this up on the altar inside of the shop. Now I did not seal it with wax on the inside like I normally would do, because I have a feeling there's other aspects I will be wanting to add, other properties I will be wanting to add to this bottle to bring into the store. So there you go. So to recap, don't be afraid to use items for which you might find like little shells out by the water, or charms such as keys, or pieces of your broken hematite, or little nails, or different herbs and beans and seeds and things, and save your brown paper to use as your petition. And also different discarded strings, save them, because you'll always be able to use them for some sort of knot work, just like I did here. So thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed my video, please give me the thumbs up, and share it if you will. Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you can be notified of upcoming videos. But most of all, if you could leave a comment, I would like to know what your thoughts are. Thank you for joining me. Stay forever magical and blessed be.